My video from yesterday where Trump is talking at the World Economic Forum in January 21st, like talking mad shit to all of them, like on a level I couldn't even believe. I did a video on it because there was one like stretch, but don't get me wrong, a lot of it was an ego stroke. We've done this, we've done that, we're number one, et cetera, et cetera. But like, dude, he talks about how they hyped up overpopulation, how it's all about domination, control, and transforming society. You should check it out. It's actually got a good number of views. And I would assume it's because of that video that maybe I'm going to have Jones on the program and he's going to get behind this great resistance idea that me and Steve were talking about 2 weeks ago.
Well, that's the video I've been talking about, that it's hard to seem like that's theater. Like people are still like, oh, it's all theater. Well, he was talking to them and to the one at the UN too, where he was pushing back overtly against globalism. And I felt like that was genuine. But Darren was mentioning that again, and Cheney was saying that the people in Florida, especially like the sort of the Republican types, the freedom types, are not holding back because they're waiting for trusting the plan. Like that's just a small, loud minority. That in general, the Americans are not just trusting the plan. But I don't know. I can't say because I'm up here in fucking snowy Canada.
Well, you guys want to start the show?
Yeah, people keep popping in.
They certainly are. They can pop in as we go live and all that stuff.
I just wanted to introduce myself. I don't think any of you guys know me, but I'm Kingsley Edwards.
Aaron.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, John.
Hi.
Oh, so are you here for? Is Kingsley joining us or?
He's at a doctor's appointment. He asked me to just kind of step in, but he'll be on as soon as he gets back.
Oh, that's cool. I mean,
happy to have you.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd show my pretty face. You know?
So Kingsley, you're better looking anyway, so it's no problem. So
I was going to say that. But
We need the ratings.
I hesitated to say that. I'm glad.
I wanted to say hi too. I'm Jeremy Kaufman from Library.
Hey, thanks, Jeremy.
Hey,
nice to have you here. Who knows who else will? I know.
Hey, Ricky, can I just test my audio real quick? Because I lost internet, so I'm on my phone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear your phone audio. Yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you.
And who is it?
That's Richard Andrew Grove.
Oh, Richard. Was that
He's
you?
got a giant phone behind him.
Oh,
or, wait, he could be really tiny. He could be very tiny. That's true.
That's true. I could be tiny.
You sound
JB.
like Ernest Hancock most of the time when he's on the show.
Why are you in 4x3, Richard? Just everything went down?
I'm just using my mobile, and I flipped the camera around on Zoom, so I've never done a Zoom call. I usually use the cameras and the microphone in studio.
Gotcha.
So if you can hear me, but if the audio is not clear, like I can get rid of the headpiece.
It's clear enough. It's not as good as your microphone, but it's
how about this?
What's up, Sam? How we doing, brother?
Hey, guys. How are you? Good to be here. Excited to see everybody. And, super excited.
Yeah.
Have a conversation with everybody.
Is this better audio without the headset?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, equal.
Monica, how are you?
Great. How are you doing, Sam?
We got to do some more stuff together since you're near.
I know. Since there's absolutely no talent in LA, I'm here at the exact right time.
I know. You moved here. You already did a gig at the Comedy Store. You're crushing it.
I'm not even a comedian.
I know. You're like, fuck this store. That shit's easy. Next stop, Staples Center.
There you go.
Like you want to give it a try? We'll try.
We're live, man. I mean, no theme song. Let's just roll into it. We got everyone here. Everyone's introduced themselves. There's no point. Yeah, here we go. We're live.
We're live.
That Bill O'Reilly fan right here.
We'll do it live. So can we make our big announcement real quick? Should we
wait till we're live on my channel?
Oh, I thought we're live. It says we're live on YouTube.
We're actually attempting to do live on both channels.
Multi-streaming.
Oh, shit.
This is a simulcast.
Wow,
Super
welcome to
dangerous.
2016, everybody. Multi-streaming.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a different time.
Oh, it was. You know that Giuliani thing is still going on. Was anybody else watching that all day?
Guys, how is? Oh no, I haven't watched that today,
dude. It's. I mean, he's. I think there's still 10 more witnesses to go. Last time I checked. I mean, it's pretty absurd that the media is not covering any of it, no matter what you believe. I mean, they're now having eyewitness after eyewitness after eyewitness come up and talk about.
And there is no evidence. There's zero evidence.
Yeah, I know. Leslie from
Listen to
60
CNN.
Minutes will tell me that there's no scandal with Hunter Biden, even though his Johnny Wang dangle's out in front of a 14-year-old girl and he's smoking crack while making crooked business deals with the Ukraine and China.
That was a meth pipe, everybody. I want that. As a former drug addict, I would like it cleared up. That was, in fact, a meth pipe.
And he was in Oregon, so it was okay.
No, it's interesting. I mean, but is this all by design? That's the whole thing. Is this chaos? I mean, I just got done talking to Whitney Webb. If you really want to go black pill, talk to Whitney Webb. She'll put you in a nice place. And she was wonderful. It was a wonderful conversation. But like they've been running simulations on this forever about just chaos and trying to get everybody to lose faith in the electoral system we have, which seems to be happening. But I also believe in humanity, and I think people are really getting over all of this. I think they're tired of it. I think they want, like, oh man, they're gonna riot. I think people are like, I'm not gonna riot, dude. I'm tired of it, man. Dude, okay, Matthew says I'm wrong, but it's possible.
No, I think you're right, man.
Okay.
I think you're right. I think that people are overcoming it. In my community, man. In my community, people are basically saying, well, this is go back to normal.
That's why they have to make you think that Biden won so that they can get the left to go bananas, because they really weren't going to get the right to go bananas. Look, the right isn't going bananas.
I just think also that, if you want the left to go crazy, why would you just fucking start parading all these like Godzilla monsters that you want to have on your cabinet to scare the left? Because I think that stuff, and listen, I'm totally cool if this is all theater. I totally get it. But it's like, that is just, people are just like, oh, dude, you're just a piece of shit too, which we all knew. Yeah. But for some reason, people
yeah, but Sam, you're talking about a base that today was tweeting out that Rand Paul is a puppet of Vladimir Putin because he dare say Fauci should apologize for what he's done to children in the school systems. Forget about apologize. He should be in prison.
Prison, dude. There's a firing line for that guy. I'll fight him for charity, dude.
I'm not calling for any violence. You know how I feel about that, Sam. And by the way, guys, why would you want violence? Why can't we just institute the Great Reset as kind of the new Rikers Island for these high-level criminals where they don't own anything? They're surveilled all the time. There's a track and trace database system. In fact, we can tune in on a YouTube channel and dictate a cell and watch them crying in there. I think that's the better way to go. You know, make an example by putting high-level people in prison and caging them up like they want us caged.
I think we should convert.
Watch them not commit suicide.
Well, I did a story today, and anybody can look this up. It was on CTV about a 90-year-old woman who is completely 100% healthy, and she hasn't been able to see her family for 9 months. And rather than be locked down and literally, when it first started, she was quarantined into her room for 2 weeks on top of that. So not only are you going to lunch where they're putting up plexiglass, you can't talk to the people in your home anymore, you can't talk to your family, but we put you in basically solitary for 2 weeks. This woman, because it's fashionable in Canada, actually decided to take her own life and had a medically induced suicide, 100% fine physically, in front of her family so she could be with her family one more time and not be isolated for them for however when they say it's okay. I mean, that's the new deal, man. And you got to remember, these are the same people that you can call them death panels if you want, but they were saying, you know what, instead of giving grandpa that hip surgery at 76, give him a cane. Give him a cane. He's not rich. Fuck him. Like, seriously.
Why are you even giving him shoot him?
Society.
What do you think is going to happen when, Christmas rolls around and more than 2 households meet in California? The city or county or whatever shuts off the power and the water of that house. And there's a guy who's on oxygen or needs a CPAP machine or, something. And that guy, someone dies or gets seriously hurt because they don't have electricity or power.
Hey, it's what the military call collateral damage.
I think
Sorry to
Sam's
be, yeah.
right. I think Sam's right. People are waking up, and I think once that happens, once someone dies or seriously gets injured because the city shuts off their power, their water, I think people are going to rise up and really just take it to the streets.
Well, I think the great resistance has to happen before then. We have to go occupy the halls of government, not just DC. I like what Jones is doing on the 12th. This is bigger than an election issue, right? Don't get me wrong. The election issue is huge. It's egregious. It's in your face. I mean, they put out an old man that didn't have to have rallies, didn't have to remember his name, was embedded in scandals as a literal establishment puppet of the predator class for decades, and outward about it, by the way, not shy about it all, talking about crooked Ukrainian deals at the CFR, laughing with Richard Haass. That's the kind of respect they had for us. Huge scandal. But other than that, I'm locked in my house still. They're making me wear a mask at the coffee shop. They're censoring every doctor, even that latest one who put out a paper published by Johns Hopkins. What was it out? 48 hours? 48 hours before they took it away? They're censoring former executives from Pfizer. The censorship has to end. We have to go storm the halls of local government. We'll bring Wi-Fi. If you're working from home anyway, bring your laptop. And we just work there until all of these things are done. We cannot acquiesce to anything anymore. Not masks, not lockdowns, not your business shutting down. They want to fine you. Rip it up. Piss on it. Okay, don't show up to court. Make them arrest you. Make them be the forcible monsters that they are, because this is the new civil rights movement. And if you're not willing to take a baton or a hose or get drug out, I don't know that you really want freedom, whether that's in the United States of America or anywhere else in this world. So
I agree.
The great resistance has to combat the great reset, and we have to say no to everything.
Matthew, I think you're are you on two different lines? Because I see you're down here too.
Yeah, just in case I needed to share a screen.
Now you're in 3. That's great. You're just
man, I like that.
Hey,
Do that again. Oh, that's great. I'm chasing now.
Hey, did you guys hear the new rule that could allow for gas and firing squads for you?
I was just about to bring that up. What do you guys think about this? It's crazy. The Justice Department is literally going to expand execution methods like firing squads for federal death row inmates. What?
Who's going to be on that death row, though? That's the question. We're all thinking it's going to be like these these evil fucking psychopaths, but that might be like a drive-through of like getting rid of the dissent. Okay, next up, boom, 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 boom. Next up, turn and burn.
Yeah, that's when I got off the death penalty, is that like even if you're guilty, because treason and like certain drug trafficking and murder are all capital offenses. So what's treason when the people who are making those decisions don't recognize the Constitution anyway?
And not just that, those people themselves are treasonous.
Didn't I see a headline about Canada getting auto guillotines?
Auto guillotines. I would
what is
love
that for? Are we going? La revolution. Is that what's happening? You don't remember what happened during the French Revolution? There was a lot of elites that had a bad day.
I think maybe the idea was to flip it, though.
Yeah, if they bring it out, I think that'll wake people up, man. You know, I don't want violence. I don't want violence to anybody, but our politicians aren't afraid of us. And that's the worst thing. There's no fear because there's no I mean, when was the last time an honest to God, like elite got in trouble? I think it was like the Iran-Contra affair, and like they had a patsy for that, and maybe Scooter Libby, but that's about it.
Well, didn't they give him a spot on Fox News too?
Yeah, and he's running the NRA. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. Chris Hedges talks about this, about how there was a scene. He wrote about the scene in his book from back in the 60s when Nixon is in the Oval Office with Kissinger, and they've put buses end to end all the way around surrounding the White House because there's people out there that are freaking out and they're about to, riot. And he said that in the White House, you have Nixon saying, "Henry, they're going to come and get us. They're going to get us, Henry. They're going to come and get us." And he said, that's exactly where you want them to be mentally at all times, that you want them to feel as if there might be repercussions for their action, that the people might actually come and get them. And they don't feel that. Politicians do not feel that. They don't fear us. They don't fear repercussions. They don't fear the Department of Justice because it's totally corrupted. They know they're not going to see any real time. And we, the people, have been way too passive. I'm not calling for violence, to be clear, but I am calling for them to look over their shoulders before they do something shitty to us. But the way they have been acting for the last 40 years has been that they know that there's nothing that we're going to do to them for the things that they've done. And until that changes, I don't think we should expect any sort of real results from the politicians.
Well, let's get into something specifically, because all the things we're talking about, starting a revolution, getting people angry, that's only possible if people can actually get the information, the truth, because if not, they're brainwashed. And that's kind of like the focus of today's show is how do we, as content creators and people who are trying to get this information out there, what are our options, what are our issues, and what are our alternatives. And that's why we have Matt with us today. We have Aaron and we have Jeremy and maybe some other people who might join us later. But for now, do you guys want to jump in regards to some of the work you guys are doing in regards to giving people like us, content creators, a place where we can spread our information, spark ideas without any censorship?
Yeah. I mean, for us at Float, creating a censorship-resistant platform is super important to us. I mean, watching so many of you guys, I mean, good friends of ours, their incomes just slashed and people just being censored left and right. I mean, you can't even say take vitamin C on YouTube anymore. Coming onto Float, like we really just wanted to give creators a way for them to monetize as much as they could and keep their monetization instead of giving YouTube 30%. But we wanted a place where people can share their ideas and share their opinions and basically cultivate conversations about what we're going to do to move things forward. It's to keep using these legacy platforms it's like going back to an abuser. So for us, we really just want to encourage people to share their ideas, share their skill sets, so people in the same communities can get together with those people and say, hey, if I pull my child out of school, you're 10 miles down the road and you're a teacher, let's build like these micro communities and basically help each other get out of this indoctrination camp of schools, get out of this way of like this information war of sharing ideas and opinions on Facebook and then getting censored and kicked off. So there's no place to share your thoughts or opinions or concerns about the world. So I think, just getting onto platforms like Library, Odyssey, Float, Gab, those are just super important.
Just as an aside, we are streaming to float.app right now. And the people over at Float, I've been testing out streaming and seeing what can take bit rate wise from my servers. And they are very accommodating and very easy to work with. The interface is very easy to use for people. So if you're looking to stream to a platform, Float makes it incredibly easy to do so.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's all I got. Yeah.
Right on.
It's good.
Yeah. That's awesome that you're doing that. Because I agree completely that we need to be finding and using alternatives that have better policies and that are more respectful to us as individuals. So I'm here representing Library and Odyssey. So Odyssey.com has become, I think, we think it's not an alternative, but the successor. These platforms have become they've become very corporate. They've become very controlled. The creators who are starting now, you're not going to get big on these platforms anymore. And so if people are looking for something that's a little bit more respectful than YouTube, there's an incredible roster of creators that are using Odyssey.com, including a number of people here, as well as some really, really big names. So you can check out the Odyssey.com homepage and see all that. And part of the reason that we think we'll ultimately win, you don't need to understand all of this, but Odyssey is built on top of a really revolutionary technology called Library. And unlike pretty much everything else, certainly every other video platform, Library allows you to really have an unprecedented degree of of ownership and control. We basically do to publishing what Bitcoin did to money. So I'm here. I've already heard things said tonight that I wouldn't necessarily agree with, but that doesn't matter. You shouldn't need to agree with the people who build technology to be allowed to talk. And I agree. I feel that very strongly, and that's a big part of why we're doing what we do here at Library and Odyssey.
And another way that we're going to win is these platforms. I feel like there's hundreds of social media alternatives out there, and none of them are working together. And I want to work with you, Jeremy. I want to build things. I want to build things. Float and Library and Odyssey. Like, I want to take us to the moon. Like, I want to collaborate with all the platforms that are out there that are combating the censorship online. And so that's the way to work together. That's the way to win, is to work together and to collaborate and to create things that circumvent the way that things are going.
Yeah, completely agreed. And we're very favorable towards that. Everything we do is open source. And even in terms of the things that we've built, we had several hundred people contribute to our software last year, and most of them didn't work at the company. And so I think that there are a lot of people out there who are, everyone here, right? We're all motivated. We all share this. We all share this idea that we need alternatives.
And that's where my company is coming in to try to help all of you. We're content safe. What we do is provide media redistribution services. We're presently helping redistribute about 10 content creators to Float, BitChute, Library, and a half a dozen other alt media platforms and social media platforms.
That's huge.
And I know it's one of the big complaints. I've been talking to content creators about this idea for a few years. One of their biggest complaints is, oh, great, we've got all these places we can take things to, but we don't have the time to do more than one or two. We'd rather be focused on creating our content. And what I did was visualize this, make it into a reality where we have a scaled architecture that we can redistribute to hundreds of platforms if they exist.
Nice. What's the name of your platform?
Content Safe.
Content Safe. Okay.
Content.
Let's talk.
Real quick. I also want to introduce Jamie from Rockfin. I've been blessed to be working on Rockfin, and I've had nothing but a wonderful experience there. And I think I love what they're doing there. They're a paywall service. They have a paywall service that is like competitive with Patreon, and I would love to hear from Jamie and tell you, because I'm really thankful for and I know that a couple guys on here are on Rockfin, and I know that they're very happy with it. And I'm like Paul Revere. I'm like yelling to anybody: get on multiple platforms. Patreon's great because that's where everyone goes, but you got Subscribestar, and Rockfin, and I'm really happy with Rockfin as a paywall site, and I think and Jamie, you can jump in here, but I believe it is. I believe it's kind of like the Netflix model where you pay one fee for a bunch of paywalls, and I think that's fucking brilliant, man. And I tell all the guys here, I know Rockfin wants big names there. I'm working with them as the other people are on the site to get bigger names on there. But also some of you guys in the alternative community who have a smaller following. I personally think Rockfin is a great place for you to go because, I've seen people that have done Jimmy Dore's show, and they get on, they get a big following because people know them from Jimmy Dore. So all the Jimmy Dore people start following them there. And I think Jamie's got a great idea, and I love everybody's platforms, and I would love to be on all of them. I think Matthew's idea is fucking great and probably is a game changer that will help us push back. But, I'd love to hear from Jamie too.
Jamie, you ready, or you need a second?
Yes. Sorry, I'm in the car, so it's a little dark. Here we go.
Yeah, shady. That's how we like it.
I know. It totally looks shady. So First of all, thanks, Sam. Appreciate it. The reason I joined this call is I did wanted to learn more about content safe. I agree that that's a feature that's been asked by some of our creators. So I wanted to kind of hear the high level, and if there's interest, then I would take it offline with him and see how we can integrate.
I would love that, dude.
Some of his technology into ours. So that's the reason that I joined. Now, the last thing I'll say is I don't really like the word alternative platform. We're building a billion-dollar platform. We're not here to be an alternative to anything. We're here to be the leader on monetization of content. So I know in this world, in the alternative world, the main goal for a lot of people is to put the truth out there, and I love that. For us, we're not just politics or conspiracy or whatever. We have actually most of our content is on sports. So our main goal is that when a creator joins, that they're able to monetize the content better than anywhere else. And that's pretty much it. That's all I'll say. But yeah, originally
Let me back that up, Jamie. Because without Jamie and them contacting me, I think not even a year ago, right? Somewhere maybe about 12 months ago, somewhere in there, and saying, hey, this was a platform that I could actually monetize my content. Now, I've been demonetized completely on YouTube for 8+ months. This platform is the only reason I was able to move to Iowa. This is the only reason I have money in the bank account right now for any kind of an emergency. And it is an ingenious platform in the sense that, number one, it's great that Float lets you go live. BitChute still doesn't. They have that. Then, like he said, this is sports-based content. So this is actually started by an entrepreneur named Martin Florani. If you know what Flow Sports is, if you're a guy like me, it's instant name brand recognition. Number two, people like Ben Askren, people like Duke Rufus, people big in mixed martial arts, niche things like wrestling, not pro wrestling, but actually high school and collegiate wrestling are huge there as well. And then it's alternative media. So you don't have cat videos. There's no cooking tutorials. Right now, it's a niche thing. And I've been able to take my audience of 59,000 people at YouTube and convert that now to over 8,000 followers there. On top of that, the paying subscribers that are now coming through with the way they pay, which is also brilliant, an ERC token that they're burning versus the money they're taking in every month, every time they swipe that $9.99, and the content that people are watching, that's premium, who you're bringing in as well, and maintaining them is better than a one-to-one right now, because obviously Ethereum's going up, Bitcoin is going up. So what does that mean one-to-one? Let's say I had 10 subscribers paying $9.99 a month, right? So that's $100 that would come to me, right? That's just a thing. I'm getting more than that $100 if I wanted to cash out immediately. Now, by not cashing out immediately and actually believing in this network, I believe that the ERC token that they're using, the Ray token, will actually grow. It's highly different than what, I've talked to the guys at Minds. And don't get me wrong, all these alternative platforms, like you said, are great, and you shouldn't call them alternatives. But this one is based in actual currency. It's happening now, and it's not just for everybody to come in. So I'm just telling anybody out there right now that does have an audience that is worried about being completely deplatformed on YouTube, like I am, that wants to, and you can put everything out for free too. Like, I want to make that very clear as well. It's not like you're forced to monetize your content. It's just overall an amazing platform. And Jamie, thank you so much, man, because I wouldn't be sitting at this desk at this nice studio, with my family upstairs screaming and hollering without you.
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in. We're not Odyssey is not exactly in the membership class, but it does offer CPMs that are comparative or higher than YouTube, also paid in cryptocurrency.
All the platforms here all have super strengths, and they're very important. And I love that, Aaron was like, I want to work with Jeremy. I think that's important because I think that we need to spread our content everywhere. And if, it's like James Corbett said on the first Union of the Unwanted, if we're in one place, it's easy to control us. If we're all over the place, we should have Float, we should have Rockfin, we should have Library, we should have all these places, and they all have wonderful, wonderful opportunities for alternative creators. And I think this show today, and I gotta say, Ricky, you did a great job booking it, because I am loving this conversation, man. This conversation is wonderful. And to me, everybody that's here is like, man, this is historic shit right here. And I think if we all do more of this, we have more conversations like this, we can create something that bangs with YouTube, because YouTube's going to become the mass singer of websites, just where the dumb go to fucking clap. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we got like the people we have here today, we are all blessed to be talking to them, and they're talking about their platforms. And Matthew with his system is a game changer. So the three websites here, and Matthew, this is historic, and I'm very thankful that Ricky put you all together.
It's good that you brought that up, Sam, because I think I look at these platforms and I think that's great. Let's not call them all platforms. Let's call them platforms. I look at this as a transitional step. What we at Content Safe imagine is we're going to go beyond these hosted platforms. We're going to start teaching and encouraging and providing services so that people can move out to IPFS and any other future technologies that might become viable. I personally don't think that technologies like IPFS are viable at the moment, but I do think some technology like that will be viable in the near future, and it will provide that there won't need to be platforms.
Sure. I mean, it's library, and 8 million people watched the video via last week, right? Like, we already provide the user experience. It's people don't even know, right? Most people don't even know they're using a Web 3.0 technology when they interact with library, because we don't put it at the front. It's a normal experience, but it's backed by something that's fundamentally radical in terms of the amount of control and censorship resistance it offers.
So the people on the call who are content creators, do you guys have questions? I'm sure you have some questions for some of these platforms. Would you guys want to?
I would like to ask one, if I don't mind, then I'll shut up for a little while. As we see, we have people, we've seen what happened with BitChute. All of a sudden, they get knocked offline. They're dealing with this. To the people who have websites that you're dealing with, or you have your platforms, are there anything are you taking any precautions to push back against these things so they don't knock Library or Float or Rockfin offline? Is there anything you can do?
Well, we take a sort of two-tiered approach. So Odyssey.com is the equivalent of Coinbase. Coinbase follows all of the laws around Bitcoin. Odyssey.com is intended to be a mainstream brand. It'll have better policies than YouTube has, but it's a mainstream brand, and it all follows the law. Library Desktop is a peer-to-peer client that doesn't require our company to use and interact with the network. So you can use a completely peer-to-peer version, or you can use the sort of centralized version. And there are different trade-offs between using both of those, and they have some different properties. So basically, you have this one that's very, very resistant that people can always have access to. You have one that's a little bit more convenient, but that has to make certain pragmatic choices.
I actually really love what you guys do over at Library in this regard. I think you guys do it really, really well, and it should be almost like the model. For us at Float, we are centralized. However, decentralization is a huge priority of ours moving forward, as well as having many, many copies of our server, many, many backups. But moving forward, we really do want to decentralize, and whether that means putting it on blockchain or moving on to IPFS, creating as many nodes as possible, distributed nodes as possible. And, that's our end goal. So that's how, we plan to combat that.
And I actually want to emphasize, as the decentralized guy here, I think Float and Aaron, these are very pragmatic choices. The honest truth is we've moved towards more centralized with stuff like Odyssey, because centralization does a lot of things that people need. And so, I do think the decentralization is very important, and it needs to be there. But the honest truth is, if you want to have mainstream reach, if you want to be able to reach a lot of people with your content, people need to be able to just go to a website and click play.
Right, exactly. It needs to be easy. That's exactly the issue with decentralization. It's just usability. it's compromised right now. And I hope to see that be fixed over the next 5 to 10 years.
And I think it will be fixed. I think that we won't need that in 10 years. But I think Jeremy's right. I think right now it's just a pragmatic decision. And I've had this discussion with other people who do distributed technologies. And Jeremy, you guys, I must say, I've reviewed your architecture. It is kick-ass.
Thank you. It's actually the biggest. You gave us really the biggest compliment, which is you integrated with us without talking to us, which means that we've done it correctly.
Though I would love to have a discussion with you guys offline, because there are certain things that could reduce maybe some obstacles that we run into.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm a big supporter of what you guys are doing as well. Our whole thing is, we're not everyone else's strategy is like, we want to secure you and then we want to like lock you away. We want to trap you, right? And that's the opposite of our approach. We're not trying to trap everyone. So we love we love all kinds of different integrations and collaboration.
And I guess this brings to light one other topic. I don't know if we want to do it now or not, but one thing I've noticed, and I think you guys do a pretty good job about this, and that is search. Search in these platforms is a problem, and it's something that needs to be kind of addressed. Like, look at BitChute search.
Yeah.
BitChute search is not quite there yet.
In general, actually, the discovery in general, to even broaden it, which includes search, but also things like recommendations, machine learning, training,
which we also plan to do as well. We're planning maybe 2022 integrating our own recommendation engine that would go cross-platform. In fact, sorry to interrupt you there, Jeremy, but I hope some of you who are closer to my age might remember Metacrawler.
A multi sort of search engine thing.
Yeah, we're actually got that in the works to build a Metacrawler across the different platforms. So that's something that I really would like to see happen as well.
I've been wanting to do a social media roundtable for months now. I just haven't had the time to put it all together. But I would love to just kind of create our own little social media roundtable where we meet privately or publicly or whatever, and we just discuss how we can integrate and help one another.
In fact, Aaron, I've got some ideas I'd like to throw over your way. That I've been doing work for some people in different industries for business social networks, and we might share some ideas.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Maybe something to shift the discussion a little bit. A lot of the problem is not just technological. It's not just product. It's social. It's expressive. It's communicative. How can we all do a better job? Making people aware of the problems that the traditional platforms have. Giving people the tools to move. Part of what makes it hard is like people are very established. That is part of why these platforms become so entrenched, is like they have this weight to them, and it's hard to step out and it's hard to step away. How can we do a better job in this area?
Well, I think Float has kind of started that process by being able to import your Facebook data. It's the most difficult thing, as you mentioned, to pull people away from these platforms because their families are on there. That's where their content has lived for over 10 plus years. And it's just too exhausting to go and save each individual photo and video and blah, 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 blah. So we've actually created a way where you can download your Facebook data in JSON format and upload it onto Float. So it'll actually collect all of your data within, you can separate the time periods, but it'll post your posts, videos, and your images and dock it over to Float. So I think that's a good way to at least, say, hey, listen, if you don't want to sit there and waste hours saving content from Facebook and then uploading it on the other platforms, just download your data and do it all in one fell swoop. So that's the start, at least for us. But, it's just, I think Facebook is doing our job for us. They're censoring stupid content, just like stupid little conversations, jokes people make. I think Kingsley was joking around with a friend, and he just wrote like, "Oh, I'll cut you." And Facebook's like, "Oh, I gotta stop you right there. Can't say that." stupid shit, man. So I think they're honestly doing our work for us in that regard. I don't know about you, but my Facebook feed is all about, hey, what's the alternative of the week? Where are we going to go? You know, like, oh, I'm on Gab. Oh, I'm on Parler. Oh, I'm on Library. It's just like a mass freaking exodus. So I think people are done. They've had it.
They may be done. I'm a creator. I do a little programming here and there in Python. So technologically, I can wrap my head around some of what you guys are doing. But as a creator, YouTube is very comfortable because it's on my mobile device. I still stream there. It can feel kind of scary to leave it because it's so convenient to search what you want, and it typically will come up. And so for me as a creator, I still want to produce things for YouTube, even though it is restrictive. I don't get promoted the same way I did 5 years ago for the same type of content. So it is kind of scary to leave that. I do most of my research and media consumption on my phone. I listen to YouTube. I use it basically as my radio to listen to podcasts on YouTube. If a library starts to have that capability, I'm there. If Float has a mobile app, I'm there. Rockfin, I love Rockfin. If they start to have a mobile app with that capability, I am there. Yeah. BitChute's nice. It looks like crap though. The UI is garbage, and they have to know this at this point.
Yeah.
And it's important for people to report that so they can at least kind of take that criticism and cater it to what their users want.
And I think that looking at it like we do, we kind of dig into things in order to be able to integrate. And there are some fairly simple things that BitChute could do to make it a lot better. Yeah. And it wouldn't take a fortune to do it.
Well, let me say this. I just think that the biggest obstacle that nobody's talking about and really needs to be addressed is the fact that you have big tech collusion. Let's not, act like that's not a thing. YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, the three largest platforms, openly collude against Gab. They openly collude against alternate video platforms like BitChute. You got to understand your growth at some point, even Parler, right? I'm hearing so much about Parler. Well, that's because they have some big names and big money behind it.
And they're on
What's the chatter? Oh, well, I'm just saying the chatter on people that aren't aware of the censorship or enjoy the censorship, really, or buy into Russian collusion, for instance. They now think this is a platform like Gab is for white supremacists and Nazis. And if you're on there, you're a Nazi and a white supremacist. They take it further when you're on Twitter and you try to click one of those links and you get it like you're going to a third-rate porn site that's going to scrape your info and it warns you not to go there. Yeah. That's a huge issue when you're talking about 80 to 90% of the full traffic of the internet being run on these three sites. So that's what I would also say is unique about Rockfin, is it is not necessarily dependent on traffic from those three sites to gain awareness, because it is like a Netflix for creator. You know what you're going there for. If you are a paid member, you know why you're paying. You're paying for that creator, but you get everybody's content. I'm just saying that the big tech collusion is probably the number one obstacle everybody is going to come up. You got to understand, we're talking YouTube again. I've said it a million times, but it's not only the largest video platform in the world. It is the second largest search engine under the first largest search engine, which is, of course, Google, under the first largest operating system in the most hands in the world, Android. And they openly work with NASA on AI and quantum computing. You're not dealing with a traditional technopoly. This is a big deal. And I think that if we're ever going to reach that next level where, hey, your neighbor is on any of these platforms we're talking about, and it's just a normal thing, we have to address that, fight it, and somehow win.
Yeah, I think that we need to stop saying it's necessarily about free speech. We need to make this more nasty sounding. This is about monopolization of media. And that's what I've taken to explaining to my more normie friends, that they say, well, why would they want to censor content creators that make cooking videos? I said, because they want to have
about control.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about control.
There's an even easier.